Hi buddy, welcome to the video surprise of the day. Today's video surprise, I'm going to show how to do a rear view mirror tap for power. So I'm going to be on the Lexus TX. So before you get started, please remember to hit the subscribe button, the bell icon to be notified new videos. If you like my video to the end, please help me out with a thumbs up. Okay, so I just purchased a Lexus TX500h and replacing my RX350L because it's definitely longer, has newer technology, and a lot of other things, a lot of other reasons. And let's get started here. After we film this part again, to take the cover out, you have to reach to the top over there to take it out. Then you can pull this thing down. All right. So once you pull it down, you're gonna see this connector here. So that connects the rear view mirror. Right. You can see, you can trace the cable, hit the tab part on the top over there, and that thing would come out. So what we're gonna do is gonna use a dongle to split the power. So we're gonna basically steal power, right, from the rear view mirror power to enable our dash cam. So I already have a connector. So this is the 10-pin connector I have already, and this one works great. So this is a little bit older one. There's a newer one out there, and the installation is probably similar as well. So my USB, I'm not going to use the one that came with the dongle because I have a Wi-Fi dongle USB for a dongle. And once you plug it in, the dongle over here, you see the white piece that's going in there right there. I'm gonna also put the other piece, which is going through the rear mirror, on top of that. So basically it splits the power, but I still want power to my rear view mirror. There it goes, and my garage door opener. See, the simple as that. You put it in, and I had to do it off camera because I couldn't do it with one hand holding the camera and one hand doing the work. Just like that. It'll click. Make sure everything's clicked. If it's not clicked, it's probably not all the way in. That's something to note. And the other thing we do, yes, there are some scratches, but those are not noticeable later on, or you could clean them and stuff like that. Don't worry about that much. In my case, I have a dash cam, so it has its own USB cable, and it doesn't use the one that came with the dongle. So that's the one I have in particular. So what you need to do is over here, I'm gonna connect it to my dash cam. Yes, when you position the dash cam, I've conditioned the power, all right, the power pad, not too close to the center. Keep that in mind. If you make it too close to the center, you won't be able to slide out your dash cam in this case, right? You have a different brand, maybe it's a different thing you need to do. So gives you that clean look if you set it all right, and it looks good, and it also holds. It doesn't fall off when you're driving or you hit a big bump or something like that. You want your dash cam to fly over everywhere, right? And so much for your dash cam. So check all the cables and everything. Actually, you want to turn it on and see if it works first. All right, so the cover here has two clips. You see the red clips? Well, what you're going to do is push it back up because you pulled it down. That's what you did, right? And I did that and pushed it back up, and that's how it looks like. Impossible to do holding the camera and doing it at the same time with balance. All right, so and you notice that the dongle is actually in the middle over here, right? That's the place to hide it, and it's gonna be very tight. Make sure you don't snag any cables, any power cables in particular, or anything like that, right? Once you notice all the little areas of cover with the enclosure, you double check, triple check where you need to do, right? And there's enough distance between the dash cam and the center over here, right? Then you want to put this cover back on. So this cover is it's pretty good quality overall, but it's still got two tabs on the bottom, and you don't want to break those tabs. You're just going to put it in like that. So I'm going to see if I can show you that over here. And it's not hard to do overall. Sorry about the lighting. It's almost impossible to do the lighting and hold the camera at the same time. And I'm not going to push it all the way in. I just want to show everything first. I'm going to double check everything is aligned and everything like that. Because when you pull it down, you do the opposite. You pull from the top over there on that enclosure. All right. All right, so it worked great. So I push it all the way back in. Yes, there's some fingerprints and stuff like that on there. Probably could clean it out later. No biggie. One other thing you want to note when you do this, be really careful about your rear view mirror. Make sure you don't scratch it by accident. Otherwise, that nasty scratch will be there forever and you keep on looking at it every time you drive. So you could probably modify the cable a little bit. And, so that's how it's to install it basically. But that's not the whole thing. The other thing you want to do is basically you want to test this thing. So you want to turn it on again, and then you want to make some adjustment as needed, right? In my case, I have to make sure my dash cam was not crooked or leaning to one side or anything like that. If I stick it out to the power pad and stick it up correctly, otherwise, it'll be hanging. So I use my garage as a reference point. Also at the same time, yes, it's powering on. So when you turn on, so by the way, another thing to note, if you're doing this tapping feature, when you turn off your vehicle, the power goes off. If you want, power always be on, you have to do the fuse tap. This is not a fuse tap alternative that gives you the fuse tap benefit. So it's on, make sure it's centered, and on the left and the right, and see if you got the right picture. I actually have a filter on my dash cam, which I really like this brand because they offer a lot of accessories like that. And with the accessory, if it's really sunny or anything like that, then your picture still goes through, right? So you still see the picture. If it's not, at night, the visibility is really great. So this is one of those. Some of this people buy this dash cam, actually make videos on it, post on YouTube. But so basically there's a USB. You buy the manufacturer one, they have a smaller size USB, and I can't speak for that one because I never had one. I don't plan to get one. But basically you want to test it out, so you notice the position, the lens, and everything like that correctly. If that's all good and everything's all aligned and everything like that, you can put the mirror back up. Make sure you clean any fingerprints and such. You got it this far, you got it all working. You give yourself a pat in the back. You got it done. Of course, you want to drive it around and everything like that and see if the focus, and take out the USB and see everything's perfect. Hopefully you like this video surprise today. Really appreciate it. Thumbs up. I appreciate if you leave a comment, any questions or concern. I'll try to help. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.